All right, y'all. Before we dive in, a quick heads up.
This show is raw, real, and definitely not rated PG.
We're talking about adult themes, sexual content, and the kind of stuff you probably don't want blasting through your speakers at work or around your kids.
So grab some headphones, pour your drink of choice, and get comfy.
Oh, and just so we're clear, we are not licensed therapists, counselors, or sex coaches. Sex coaches.
Sex coaches.
Not sex couches.
We're just a couple of people sharing our lives experiences and sexy adventures and ethical non-monogamy. So with that, pull up a chair and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Monogamy. I'm Adam.
And I'm Pris.
And today we're hanging out with one of our absolute favorite people in the pleasure industry, the owner of Austin's legendary Forbidden Fruit.
Oh, we love these guys. Forbidden Fruit has been keeping Austin sexy since the 80s, back when Keep Austin Weird was more of a lifestyle than a slogan.
Yeah, they're not just a store, they're a full-blown movement, blending body positivity, sexual education, empowerment, and community connection.
And we're thrilled to be joined by the powerhouse behind it all, Lynn Raridon, the owner of Forbidden Fruit right here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, Lynn and her team have been longtime advocates for inclusive pleasure and healthy sexuality, and we're lucky enough to call them not just friends, but our sponsors.
Yeah, that's right. On November 8th, Beyond Monogamy will be live at Forbidden Fruit for a special in-store event and meet and greet. We'll be recording an episode, chatting with listeners, and maybe testing out a toy or two. Purely for research, of course.
Yeah, sure. So come hang out with us, say hi, and help us celebrate a business that's been turning curiosity into confidence for over 3 decades.
Yes.
Lynn, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, y'all. I really appreciate any opportunity to get out there and spread the good word.
Yes, I love that. Good word.
Spread that good word.
Spread that good word.
All right, so we're going to want to know, tell everybody, how did Forbidden Fruit first come to life?
Okay, I wish I could, take credit for it. A lot of people think, oh, just because I've been there pretty much very close to the beginning, but I wish I could say it was my brainchild, but it wasn't. It was a friend of mine, a gentleman named Mark Garfinkel, who was somebody that I knew from the punk rock world. We were punks.
Yeah,
In the
right
late
on.
70s, and early 80s.
Like the CBGB kind
Here
of.
in
Yeah, but here in Austin, we had places like Raoul's and Duke's Royal Cochin and the old University Y, right there on the drag, used to host punk shows up there. And then new wave clubs like Clubfoot and stuff like that came in. But anyway, I knew Mark through the scene. He was a saxophone player with a band called Sharon Tate's Baby. Pretty edgy. Yeah, right. So anyway, and I think another band anyway. And this is like, 1980, 82 or something. And I was working at the Varsity Theater, which was the art house theater on the drag. And we were going to show a sequel to the story of O called The Fruits of Passion. And my manager, who is actually now the lead curator at the Harry Ransom Museum, Steve Wilson, looks at me and he's like, Lynn, you know that guy Mark who owns Forbidden Fruit, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, well, go down and see if he'll, let us put up a poster and put some free tickets out. We're just trying to get people in the door. It was a very, a super art house film. But anyway, I said, sure. So I got all cleaned up and went down there and popped in and saw Mark. And he was like, God, Lynn, what a great presentation. He's like, you need to come work for me. I'm like, okay. He's like, but unfortunately, I don't have a spot for you in the store right now. But I'm starting this new concept here in Austin. It's called the Home Party Sale, where we pack up stuff. We pack up our merchandise and take it into women's homes. It's like a naughty fuckerware party instead of a Tupperware party, right? Tupperware was still a thing back then, right?
That's right.
So I was like, sure, okay, I can do that. So next thing I know, within like a couple of weeks, he's calling me, Lynn, I got a party. I went down to the store, I packed up, and at this point in time, I packed up anything that I was going to sell. So literally, poor woman, I come hauling in there with like 3 boxes, but I sold almost $1,000 worth of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it was and you've got to remember, this is like 1981, 82.
Right.
There were not a lot of sex positive. It's all porn palaces.
Right.
So anybody of any sexual orientation or anything are going to have to go in and look at the wall of porn and then get over to like the small smattering of what we refer to as intimacy enhancing products.
So what you gave was basically discretion.
Yeah.
Because you were going into people's homes.
We could go into the privacy of their homes, and we would let them come into the room one by one, and that they're private. Their friends didn't have to know. I would package it all up in plain brown wrappers, take it back to the hostess. She distributed it to her friends, but he was just like, wow. So he was also a pioneer in that regard that I don't know if they were doing it anywhere else in the country or not, but he started that whole premise of that home party sale, the girls' night in, the passion parties. Yeah. He started that, and that's how I got my foot in the door in the business. And I think it was 1982.
Wow.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was younger hearing about fun parties.
Yeah, and that's what it was, a
passion
fun
parties.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we did the fun parties, but they were forbidden fruit home party sales. And we'll offer that, but we tend to do more right now, and I digress here a little bit from the origin story. But we still do in-home party sales, but now what people want is for us to do a version of like our workshops, like our favored workshop. And we'll bring toys and stuff. And so it's a little bit of like, we're going to go over this topic. But it's obviously the Oralicious, the Fellatio 101 class. I don't know if you remember that movie, Old School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew Dick's character.
That was, exactly. Yeah.
Crouching tiger, hidden penis.
Yeah. And so we started actually doing those classes in 1995.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been like pioneering a lot of stuff. But again, back to it, I started actually working the store when I graduated from UT in 1983. A position actually opened up in the store. And so after I'd taken a nice little jaunt around Europe for 5 weeks with my mom in September, I came back, and in November I started working in the store. Wow. And then so that's 1983. And then 85, Mark decides he's going to go to U of H and get his law degree. He's an East Coast guy, okay? So all of his family is, he came down from New York. So he was from, the whole New York area, and his family was all East Coast. And he's like, I really want to get back to the East Coast. He's like, and this was great, but what I really want to do is practice law. Sure. And so he got his law degree. He graduated in he graduated in May of 1987, and in June of that year, I took the store over. So in 1987, I bought it, which was pretty scary for, I was like 26 years old, and I suddenly went 6 figures into debt because he knew what the business was worth. Yeah. But he helped me finance it. So no, it was brilliant. And the first 2 years were fantastic. And then in 1989, we got busted.
Really?
Yes, we did. We
got
busted.
Why? How busted? I mean, what does that mean? Like,
so back in 1972, there was laws on the book for selling obscene devices. So we got busted under the obscene device.
Oh my gosh!
Aspect of the law. Now, fortunately, that law has been it's been not so much overturned, but ruled unenforceable. But in 1989, we went and did they were doing a singles expo thing over it's where the Palmer Auditorium is now, but it didn't look anything like that. But we went there or maybe it was like a bridal, it was some sort of an expo that we went there. And unfortunately, they set us next to a pretty religiously militant Amway saleswoman. And we were very careful about what we brought in. But at that point in time, the law was a community standards-based law. So all it took is for one person to file a complaint. And this woman filed a complaint. Wow. She didn't like what we were selling. They kicked us out of the expo. They wouldn't refund our money. Even though when they solicited us and said, this is what we've got, this is what we're going to bring, we didn't bring anything that looked anatomically correct or anything like that. It was all, back then it's like the Kama Sutra lotions and oils. And I think we had one very small, innocuous looking vibrator that was just but oh boy, she just took it. So next thing I know, and I happened to be out in Los Angeles when they busted us, touring within one of the largest adult manufacturers.
Oh, wow.
I was touring the Doc Johnson plant. And my then fiance at the time, I get back to where I'm staying, and he's like, you've got to call me. It's like the Vice Squad came in and raided the store.
Wow.
And when they left, and they just left the door wide open, and I'm like, get down there, get a key, and just lock it, leave it closed the rest of the day, and then I'll call the staff.
Wow.
And we got somebody in.
That's
But yeah, so
wonderful.
they busted us. And I mean, there's nothing like going in front of the grand jury to just suddenly see like, okay, so I literally just bought this business. I haven't even paid it off. And now I'm sitting here watching my potential,
Wow.
you know.
That's heartbreaking.
It was very heartbreaking, but
Yeah.
they gave us a no bill. And basically, I just couldn't even get a parking ticket for like the next 2 years. And then it was expunged from my record.
Oh, that's good.
But that's when we got really smart.
Yes. There's always a way to work around it.
We had a great attorney, and we sat down and we dug through that law and we looked at everything. Because back at that point in time, an obscene device was designed as something that looked like the human genitalia and or its primary manufactured, promoted, or distributed intent was for stimulation of the human genitalia, and it had to lack artistic, scientific, or educational merit. So in order to sell dildos, we started selling educational models. And we were selling dildos. But if you walk, and there's a great movie out there, Barton and Wilder filmmakers, Judy and Laura, came into the store one day to purchase, or they had heard, you could purchase that item here, but there was some hoops you had to jump through. But literally, we have got a case full of them. But above it, it says like dildos with that through it. And they walked in, they're like, tell us about this. And I'm like, oh, well, those are not dildos. Those are educational models for condom demonstration.
Yes.
And we've sold them to the state of Texas, the Department of Corrections. We sold them to the University of Texas. We've sold them to the the Department of, Health and Human Services here in Texas. And then word also got out, and we've sold them to colleges, universities, and other places all over the country who have educational departments where they need to teach people how to put a condom on.
Wow.
So I said, and you're actually going to sign a release form that says that's how it was promoted and sold to you.
Wow.
That way, if anybody ever came back, I was going to pull out like a box of them and go like, yep, here it is. Absolutely.
Wow.
And the other interesting thing was, at that point in time, they had pulled a bunch of stuff, and they pulled everything from inflatable dolls. And I mean, they pulled all sorts of stuff, but it was really like the dildos and anything that looked like a penis and particularly if it vibrated. But they also pulled a bunch of butt stuff. But at that point in time, they gave us all that stuff back because they said, actually, no, your anus is not part of your genitalia.
Ah.
Yeah, so we were like, oh, when? So we could sell tush toys
all day.
out the tush, out the wazoo. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
the
yeah.
ass
So
was
yeah,
salvation.
the ass was yeah.
And a lot of people think that on the norm. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and interesting things happening on that front, but I'll go there. Yeah, it's but anyway, and also we didn't sell any vibrators. We sold personal massagers. And actually back then, manufacturers were putting little stickers on them. And if they didn't have the sticker or the language actually on the package, we bought them and put them on there. But it said, warning, do not use on swollen, inflamed areas, lesions, or any unexplained calf pain. Why? The most common place to get a blood clot is in your calf. And and these are bona fide massage devices. When they literally first came out, like the mail order companies and stuff like that's how you would see a picture of like a woman holding it up
the
her
neck
neck like,
massager,
it's a neck massager. And we were like, yep, that's what we're selling. We're selling
Wow.
massage. People would come in and be like, I'm looking for a vibrator. I don't sell those, but I've got this amazing selection
of neck
of
massage.
personal massagers, and some of them are ideal for spot specific.
There you go.
Do you want to pinpoint that massage?
That is amazing. You've seen
Yeah.
it.
We've seen it all.
You've seen it all.
We've seen just kind of the way everything has transitioned, and
And Austin has changed a lot.
Austin's changed a lot too. And as far as we've come, it's just heartbreaking to see all of the step back that's happening now.
Yeah.
And that people, and when I think of queer people, I'm not talking about just gay people. I'm talking about queer people there's a large spectrum of queer,
Yeah.
which also encompasses anybody who does anything that's considered outside the norm of traditional missionary sex between a hetero male and a hetero female.
Yeah, that
So-
alternative gray area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we definitely feel it encompassing at times. I mean,
Yeah.
just being in the non-monogamous lifestyle, I mean, it's crazy. And as far as starting out in the 80s and navigating through the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and where we're at here and now, how has Forbidden Fruit adapted to the changes every time that, I mean, obviously you're seeing how things change.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do, and we continue to. For us, it's always been about exploring every, possible avenue out there and encompassing anything and trying to destigmatize and create a positive, safe space. So we were, yes, exactly. We started like the home party sales. We wanted to create a safe space wherever it was for anybody. And then as times changed, it wasn't just women. It was, we did it for everything from swingers groups would get us. I will tell you something interesting though. Those swingers groups, they didn't spend any money.
Really?
I don't know what it was, but I don't know. It was just kind of like, I don't know. And that was more like the 90s. But anyway.
No, they still don't.
They
Still don't.
And people also don't.
Yeah.
Swinging is just one aspect of
Yeah.
non-monogamy, right? I mean, so people, anytime I mention something like open marriage, they're like, oh, swingers? I'm like,
No.
I
no.
mean,
There's a big umbrella.
No, there's a
That's
huge, that's really just.
that's a branch off the tree.
Yeah, that's like saying you're into BDSM and so that's just making, well, okay, yes, but
There's more.
there's so much more.
Yeah.
It's an ocean. How far do you want to wade in?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, anyway, so it's always just been like trying to keep a finger on the pulse of what's happening out there, not only in terms of what's happening legally, because like legally, we got to breathe a big sigh of relief. February the 13th, 2008, there had been a lawsuit working its way through the courts. And it was here in Texas, and that's when the obscene device law basically became unenforceable. So we went from, because after you've been busted, every day I opened up my door, I was like, is today the day? Somebody else gonna
Yeah.
have to
PTSD
pay?
on that.
Yeah, well, we had to pay close attention. Like the original Forbidden Fruit was right off the corner of 6th and Netchus at 512 Netchus. And I actually purchased a building right on 6th Street. And the city wouldn't give me a variance to literally move like 75 feet around the corner because I was grandfathered into that location. So that actually gave us an opportunity to expand again. We were some of the first people to actually bring piercing into Austin. We started doing piercing clinics, bringing in professional piercers from around the country. People like Karen Hurt and Elaine Binney and anybody who knows anybody. These are like old school master piercers.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we started doing piercing clinics in the 90s, and we would like rent a condo or a hotel room or something, a place where we could, bring people in, set up appointments, create a sterile environment and stuff. So when the city wouldn't give me my variance in 95, I opened up a tattoo and piercing salon. We called it the Body Art Salon.
Wow.
So yeah. And then it was there I had a professional dom come to me that I knew in the community and was like, have you ever thought about teaching classes? And I'm like, well, I would love that because I was adjunct faculty at Austin Community College for 25 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Education is a huge part of my background. And I was all about like, Forbidden Fruit needs to be more than just we're not just a retail store. We need to be a community resource for all kinds of information. So anything that you want to know about anything, we're going to help you get that information.
For sure.
So when she came to me, so we started teaching classes out of the Body Art Salon. And the very first one was, of course, because she's a pro dom, it was discovering your dominance.
Wow. That's so
And then we added submitting to submission. And then old school came out. We're like, oh, well, we gotta do the
Fellatio
we gotta do
101.
the blowjob class for sure, So, and we actually brought in professional ASEC certified instructors and people like to teach those classes. And then in 96, we opened up a space. We actually had a store out in Vegas for 2 years.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
From Texas to Vegas.
Well, we did because I had some really good clients out there who
Yeah.
were like, oh, you need to come out there. What they didn't tell me is that a lot of people don't realize, but Vegas is still very much a Mormon stronghold.
Oh.
So I've
And
heard this
if
before.
you don't
Yeah.
open up in Vegas proper, and they found us, and we thought it was a fantastic place. And in fact, it was next to one of the top hair salons that also had like a body spa and stuff in there. And I'm like, oh, well, this is great because there are tons of people that are our clientele coming in here. And within 3 or 4 months, we were already like breaking even because, just the
Wow.
proximity to this top salon, people are coming and go like, oh, wow, well, I need a piece of lingerie. I got a
Right.
bachelor, whatever. So it was great. But unfortunately, somebody must have filed a complaint again. And next thing I know, zoning is swooping in saying you can't sell this here. So literally, I had to buy myself out of my lease. And after a year, I was like, but we started doing body piercing up there too.
Oh, wow.
We found a piercer up there. I thought anything I can do to supplement, but it just got to be too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all about pioneering concepts.
Yeah. So just constantly trying to adapt as the times go through.
Anything that we see potentially that's happening out there, we really try and keep a finger on what's happening in just the sex
Adapt,
positive
yeah.
community, at large. And so the workshops, we still do those today.
Yeah.
Right. And as a matter of fact, we have plans to get Johnny on the show.
Great.
And he's
Yeah.
going to be discussing some of the
topics.
topics that you guys
Yeah.
go over and that sort of thing. And I think that's going to be incredible. We actually want to take up on some of
Yes,
those
yeah.
to learn more
Yeah.
about.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I actually visited your store. That was the first place I ever got a toy from.
Thank you.
Ever. And that was back in 98.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Now there is a preferred company that you guys have for toys. I believe we got a couple of from that.
Local.
Remind me of the name.
It's local. So we actually just discovered this. They're a new distributor, so we have to be really upfront about it. Obviously the toys are being manufactured somewhere else, but we're
Right.
all about supporting hometown team, Texas-based suppliers and organizations and stuff like that. So we actually went to the Altitude Show up in Vegas back in March, and we found a local company called Pure Envy. So we're really pleased to be carrying the Pure Envy brand.
I love
I'm
that.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually we looked through everything they had. They had some really amazing products.
Yeah.
I'm curious, when you were going through and scoping them out, what was it about them that just seemed right to you? It said
Well, first of
forbidden
all, what
fruit.
was right was that they were carrying, and you've got to understand, it's really, also keeping up with there are innovations coming down the pike,
Right.
all the time. And so more than anything, it was just that they were carrying the top styles, of toys. There were a couple of things that were a little bit different or tweaked, but we just love the fact that it was a quality product that we could get right here in Austin and support a local supplier.
Yeah, I love that.
So-
And I will say I've been asked before, because of where our podcast is at, why don't we go for a larger big box kind of sponsor? That's not really our thing. We are rooted in the community. We love the community. We do this for the community. It only seemed right that we choose a sponsor that is rooted in the community and really pushes for community. And we love everything you guys stand for. I
appreciate that. We like to tell people when they come in, because this still happens with everybody. There's this concept known as showrooming. We will have people that will come in and showroom us. They're coming in hoping that they'll actually see the physical product, and then they'll go and buy it somewhere else online. So here's why you don't want to do that. First of all, you want to make sure that there's still places like us around that you can actually go and physically pick up and see the toy, okay? And you're supporting a small, local, family, iconic business.
Yes.
So please keep us alive. But the other side of the coin is a lot of manufacturers now want you to buy it from a bricks and mortar, because the e-commerce universe is so vast out there. There are people counterfeiting toys. There are people, because so many of them are made in, overseas and in China. And a lot of times those factories, we have people from China reach out to us all the time. Oh, I see you carry these toys. We can get you a better deal. And I'm thinking, so you probably are getting the orders, seeing what's really popular, and now you're just making them and pulling some aside for yourself.
Yeah.
So point being is there's no warranty on those products.
That's right.
So if you come and get it from us, that's what the manufacturer wants. They want you to buy it from a certified dealer, and that's us. We've got a supplier that we've been doing business with a long time, the Magic Wand manufacturers. It used to be Hitachi. They've taken Hitachi off of it. And they tell us all the time they've got a warehouse full of fake magic wands. Because people even come to us and they go like, oh my God, it's like $120. I can get it online for $50. And I'm like, and it's not a magic wand.
Yeah.
Well, it sure looks like it sure says. I'm like, you go for that.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
You'll learn.
You're
You'll
gonna
learn.
learn.
Oh, I
real
learned really
fast.
quick. I got
Yeah.
a rose.
Yeah,
That was not a
not
rose.
A rose. And it was horrible.
Yeah. So it's so much better if you can actually come in, see, and again, we refer to ourselves as the sexperts, right? Because we can actually tell you the difference between if we've got 3 different toys that look very similar, we're going to be able to put them in your hands. You're going to be able to tell the difference. And it may be something as simple as, well, this one actually still takes batteries, whereas this one's rechargeable, or this one has an app, you can use on your phone.
Sure.
But then even getting into stuff where people do need more help in terms of like lubes. I mean, the land of lube is vast and extensive, and lube has changed so much over the years.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it started out with good old just, KY, which is great. And KY is still manufacturing. Do we carry them? No, because you can get that at HEB. You can get that at Walgreens. You get that. And also, no offense, but that was a lube that was manufactured for the medical market. So it was designed to basically just be able to, use with speculums and rectal exam. You know what I mean? Like
sonograms and stuff.
Yeah, sonogram. Well, yeah, and even they do something completely different now. With that, that type of gel and stuff. And so, so we carry the stuff that is literally manufactured by and specifically for the intimacy enhancement market.
Nice. That's
So
good to know.
we feel really good about the quality of it. And that's who we want to support. We want to support those people who are in there really, trying to gain traction and get a product out there that is specific to intimacy enhancement, use with toys, things like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. The other cool thing is so many new lubes have come out, like silicone lube. When it first came out, people were like, oh, I got silicone. It's like, no. It just sits right on top of your skin. You're eventually going to, slough it off. But it's super hypoallergenic. It's non-porous, which means it's bacteriostatic, which means it won't kill bacteria, but because bacteria can't get its hooks in it, it will not survive. But you don't want to use it with a silicone toy because on a molecular level, it tries to bond with itself.
No kidding.
It's just going to make the toilet greasy over time.
Oh, wow.
Even if you can, and
See,
if
guys?
you clean it pretty quickly, you're probably going to be okay. But we're going to steer you in the direction if you're going to get a silicone toy with like a water-based or maybe a super high-grade hybrid that's got just a little bit of, silicone in it. As long as you're one of those people that does, fastidiously clean your toys pretty quickly after using. This isn't,
Well, and Pris has always been very sensitive. She's overly sensitive to certain
My body's just
materials.
dramatic.
Yeah.
I have a dramatic body.
We had to learn the hard way initially a long time ago,
Yeah.
ordering toys online from unverified vendors.
I had a massive rash and it didn't go away for
It was it was an issue.
Yeah, and that's another thing. If you come in, we've got like a whole array of lube samples. You're going to be able to take those, and we always tell people, test them initially on your forearm. This is a more sensitive area of skin. So it's going to tell you 2 things. It's going to tell you, am I going to have a reaction to it? But also, I don't know if you ever played that game, like close your eyes. And this skin, it does have more nerve endings in it. It is more sensitive. So it might also give you an idea how it's going to respond to other sensitive areas of skin.
Duly noted.
So it's
And now they have edible lubes now?
Oh, we have edible lubes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
So people come in, I can't believe it. And we do still carry it occasionally, not a lot, but I actually had somebody come in looking for edible underwear, and it's like, okay, so are we just looking for the shock, the fun, the ha 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 edible underwear? I said, or do you think you or whoever this is for is actually going to use it? They're like, well, no, we're thinking we're going to use it. And I'm like, okay, then you definitely do not want that. What you want is a flavored edible lube. There are lots of topicals out there, the edible massage oils and stuff, but those are not for internal use. You want to keep those away from the private parts just because they've got a modicum of sugar in them, which can be
Oh, wow. Okay.
the enemy, right?
Sure.
In certain sensitive areas, okay? But the flavored lubes they're ingredients and they're manufactured in a way to where you can use it as a lube, you can use it as an oral enhancer, you can use it to flavor a condom, you can use, for safe sex practices. So just
Man,
that's the
incredible.
direction we steer people in.
Yeah. Well,
for
if
something
if
like
we ever
that.
have to get on another pandemic lockdown, I guess being in your shop would be good, with all the edible lubes. We'll go through the snacks real fast.
Fast,
right.
Exactly.
Now, I do want to turn towards the non-monogamous community. I know that
Sure,
being
yeah.
in the field that you're in, you've had a lot of touching up on, so to speak. A lot of people come to you and ask you about that sort of thing. And so you've seen people come and go throughout the years. How would you say you've seen the non-monogamous community or even the swinger community expand?
We've seen it expand exponentially. There are a lot of people out there who I don't want to say, it's not about unlimited options, but they still want that.
Yeah.
Caring, loving, but they want to broaden the scope of it. So the first thing we've seen happen is just the fact that people realize that it's a big umbrella, and swinging and an open relationship are not necessarily, they're not the same thing.
Right. It's a big spectrum.
It's a big spectrum. And so that's the first thing we've seen is more and more people coming in and realizing like, oh, okay, well, so got it. Because there are a lot of people in the non-monogamous community who they don't want to swing. They're not going to do that.
Right.
And there are some who are like, that may be a component that they've mutually discussed and agreed upon.
Right.
That they're going to add that component to the open relationship. So really, that's what we've seen is just kind of a broadening of like people understanding that it is a much broader umbrella and it's not mutually exclusive. And so, and we have always prided ourselves on being a safe space, a welcome space. So if people come in, we try and have resources for them. And a lot of times it's, now we know we've got your resource, your podcast, because in the past we've had people go like, how do I even learn about this? How do I start? How do I even approach this conversation with my partner?
Right.
Right. And, initially it was like, well, we can point you towards some good books.
Right.
Yeah.
And those are really the only books we carry are basically they're informational, they're educational,
I think that's what I like about your store.
Yeah.
That it's not only the toys or the, to get
The fun
intimate, the
aspect
fun.
of it.
Yeah. It's a lot of information in there. You have books, you have people that can actually talk about everything.
Yeah. Every time we walk into your shop, we are riddled with so much information about, and your employees are so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And they're really sexperts. Like they know what they're talking about. And I was really impressed with that because we've been into some of the big box stores.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you have somebody working there who they're just there to collect a paycheck. Like this is not something they're passionate about.
Yeah.
They're just there. They want to ward out the creeps and that sort of thing. And it's like, just here, give me the money. Here's your stuff. See you later. There's not a whole lot of knowledge there. But going into your shop, gosh, I learn something new every single time.
Thank you.
And I
That
love
makes me feel good. And the staff really, and the thing is like everybody, at the store right now has been with us no less. Actually, we do have one employee and she's been with us almost like 2 years, but that's like the lowest, It's like the rest of us is like, 6, 7 years, 15 years. And then of course my sister and I, my co-owner, I've been there since practically the beginning.
Yeah.
So, no,
really
thank you. I
family
appreciate
oriented.
that. It's very family oriented, and when we hire looking for people. I mean, we understand that for a lot of people, it's just going to be maybe just a part-time job, but we know there are still people out there who even with a part-time job, they still have a passion for this product, and they feel like I'm not just in here
It's not just a
slinging,
paycheck.
selling,
It's-
whatever. I feel like I am actually contributing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they really are. I mean,
Really helpful.
I
Yeah.
went in and I was like, oh, wow, what is this? And what is that? And
Yeah, and every product that we inquired about was taken out of the box. We were able to look at it, and I just, it was really, really a neat experience. And really going into your shop is an experience.
It is. Thank you.
Now,
It is.
you do have a website.
We do.
Where you all sell.
We
You sell
do.
what's in the store on the website?
Well, we can't obviously sell absolutely everything that's in the store, but we do have a website. If you go to forbiddenfruit.com and then go to the shop page, it'll take you there. And we are constantly trying to, because we don't have a separate inventory for e-com, we sell what's on our shelves. So we're constantly trying to update when we get stuff in. But then when we sell stuff, we need to make sure it gets taken off the website. Every now and then there can be a little lag, but we also let people know, like, we're going to get this out to you absolutely as quickly as we can. But there may be it may take a week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
for
I
us
mean,
to get it back in. But yes,
you
we
just never know.
absolutely sell. And what we predominantly sell are the toys, the dildos, the lubes, and a lot of the BDSM stuff.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And for the kink community, because I know very little about it, but I do know they have some really cool
You have
toys.
a shelf there.
Yeah.
Or like a wall of
There's like
just
flogs and
I think they're locally made.
We do. We really, we love local. We love supporting local. We've been huge proponents of that movement. Austin used to have an organization called the Austin Independent Business Alliance, and that's what they were all about, was like live, love, shop local. Unfortunately, they've kind of gone away, but they've morphed into like a larger, I think there's the Local Business Institute now. But that's the whole thing, and that's why we're local and we do everything we can to support local. So we welcome local kinky crafters all the time. And we're carrying no less than like 3 or 4 different crafters at any different time. And it's everything from floggers
Yeah.
to paddles and cuffs and collars and so
and-
whatever we can get our hands on that's made locally, we love supporting.
Oh, you
think
even had
that's
like
so
lingerie.
So one of the suppliers that we carry is Shame Lingerie, and they're out of Dallas, Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I saw that on the side. I
Yeah.
was like, ooh, I need to get
Oh,
this.
we were all over your store.
Yeah.
We were all over
I want
it.
everything.
We love that.
We were like just little flies just flying all over the place.
Very good.
But as far as stuff that you don't carry in your shop, do you have the ability to refer them out if anybody has any questions? Like I don't know if you guys I don't know what this thing is called.
Okay.
But I just refer to it as a fuck machine.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think, just that name alone, I think
Is it that
everybody
little
knows.
thing with
I've seen it in a briefcase form.
Oh,
where
it's
like
in a
travel.
briefcase. And so here's
Yeah.
the thing, and we do have people. So Forbidden Fruit, we've always, so a couple of things everybody also needs to be aware of. Even though the obscenity statute for products has been deemed unenforceable, we still have to abide by zoning codes. So for us to be in the location where we're at, where we're surrounded by, a neighborhood, less than 35% of our inventory has to be 35% or less anything considered sexually oriented.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, and even though the law has been deemed unenforceable, somebody could still potentially come in and complain about us, which maybe wouldn't trigger a criminal lawsuit, but it could raise the ire of zoning to be like, you can't sell that here. It's like, but it's 35. We don't want to do anything. And because we're a boutique, and there's certainly nothing wrong, and we refer people out who do reply about it. It's just a little bit more than we want on our shelf right now.
Right.
We're about making everybody as comfortable as possible.
That makes sense.
Which is why if you come in and look at all of our packaging, you're not going to see pictures of people on there looking like they're having an orgasm. That's not going to be on.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to we just don't want anything like that. But we absolutely do refer out. We'll tell people, the first thing we prefer to do is refer to our fellow local businesses.
Okay.
So we always send people, like, if we don't have it, here's who else you can go to. Go try them. So if you came into me today, I would be like, go check out Dreamers, because they're local.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
even though they're a big store, but they're still local.
Yeah.
You know, so go there and support somebody local before you send your dollars,
Elsewhere.
Right. Right.
out of
And
state. Yeah.
We have a lot of people that listen to us outside of our community, outside of the state, and we've actually been told by a few people outside of the state that they would be going to your website to order some stuff. So
I love that. Yes,
that's
please.
that's always nice to have people be able to support.
Oh, for sure.
a
For
local.
sure.
And we also do curbside pickup.
And
So you can also, and of course, yes, that was, there are, you've got to take the lemonade where you can get it from the lemons of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And curbside pickup, wow, what a
That's so
concept.
easy.
What a concept.
pull up,
What a
honk
concept.
your
Why
horn, they'll
didn't,
come out.
show me your order on the phone. Here's your,
We're good.
you don't even have to come in the store.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. And you don't even
everything-
have to bring your own vehicle. You can bring somebody else's vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, we do have some events coming up.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
we
and,
do.
And so we were actually, we've been telling a lot of people around that the November 8th.
We're so excited because we're so excited to have you there in the store, and we hope to have some other fun stuff going on. One of the other things we've pivoted to in the community is we are a local art gallery for erotic art.
Yes.
So there's
Love it.
always erotic art
Really cool
for
pieces
sale up
all
on our
over on your
walls. You can always. We thought we were going to get a new show up but our curator Ricardo actually has his own show that he's got to go and curate. And I said, you know what? We're good. We've got so much good, art up here. It's like we're going to have Adam Pris. We're going to have plenty going
You're
on.
going to have plenty. We have invited so many people.
We
so
have, yeah. So luckily we created the event on our social medias.
Fantastic.
And
yeah.
people know about it. We're going to have some people out there. Now, if you could let me know, I want to make sure I didn't screw this up. What is the time for this
Okay, well,
event?
so we don't open until noon, but here's the thing, and this is another thing I just love about the area that we're in. If you've never been to the area, or if you have, it is one of the last bastions of the true Austin locally owned independence. So it's us, room service across the street, also going 40-something years. It used to be, I Love Video. It's now We Love Video.
Oh,
and we've
yeah.
got, several vintage stores that have been there and been in town for a long time. We've got an anarchist bookstore. We've got, there's going to be more than just us. So definitely come and see us, spend some time, but please go around and check out all of the other cool locally owned businesses that are going to have stuff and, putting it out there on the street. But definitely come in and check out what we're doing. In addition to Adam and Pris being there, we also, so we go from like noon to 7. Those are our hours, but room service opens up at like 10. I don't know if they're going to be doing like a big sidewalk sale, but definitely I would say if you come by noon, but just plan on
hanging out with
coming
us.
and hanging out with us and walking around and checking it out. So many people come in and go like, wow, I never even knew this neighborhood was here. And it's just so cool and it's fun. And
that's just one event.
Fantastic.
But you also have like in-store, like little shops, you said, or like classes.
We are doing our next workshop is
Okay.
going to be the weekend of October the 19th. And
coming up.
it'll be with Sexpert Johnny, and it's BDSM Basics. It's BDSM 101.
Okay.
So it's basically learning the ins and outs of like first of all, what is it? Again, if I'm curious, how do I get my partner? How do I even start a conversation to see if I, get my partner, or maybe we're both interested. So we just need to know, how do we start? What are these toys? So it's all about understanding that entire spectrum of what that encompasses, and then what the different toy options and stuff like that are, and how to keep it safe, sane, and consensual, y'all.
I love that.
And I do want to throw one more thing out there. One of the other communities that we've pivoted into, this was back in 2002 or 2003. We are huge proponents and the lead sponsor, and I am one of the co-directors of the Texas Burlesque Festival. So we love burlesque. We support burlesque.
Yeah.
So if you haven't, we like to tell people this is the most fun you can have with your clothes on while the performers are taking theirs off for you.
I have never been to a burlesque
Oh
show.
my word, Pris. Come on.
Never.
It's getting put on the list now.
I've
Now we
always
got to
like
do it.
wanted-
Absolutely.
Never
I mean, and I
gone.
like to tell people you cannot toss a stiletto in this town without hitting a burlesque performer.
That is
we
true.
have so many amazing troops and individual performers. We've got a calendar, the Austin Burlesque Alliance. We've got a local community group. The austinburlesque.com is the calendar. You can go there and see what burlesque shows. And then even beyond burlesque, there are shows that have burlesque, but maybe it's also with like aerials and pole.
Oh, wow.
And maybe it's got some drag. And it's just, so we're all about supporting all of those communities. There's a studio here in town called Brass Ovaries.
Yeah.
The first
We've
place
seen it,
Brass
yeah.
Ovaries did their classes inside Forbidden Fruit.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
We hosted their classes
That
is
is
awesome.
cool.
every Wednesday. Yeah, Miss
That's so
Natasha and they would bring in, like, we would clear everything in that front room out. They would set up 2 poles. It's like, so again, we just constantly keep our finger on the pulse, and anything out there that we feel like is sex positive, body positivity, anything like that, we are all about it. So if you know something we're not aware of, let us know.
For sure.
Yeah, and everything that you've listed, we're going to have the links in our show notes so that everybody can look them up. And even if you are not in the area, if you end up in the area around those times, you know exactly what to expect. Now, I will say, going back to the November 8th thing, we're going to be out there by 11 because we want to scope everything out.
Yes.
We will be inside the shop when you guys open at noon, which is very cool because we're going to do a show from your
And
your
a
shop.
couple of lives. Yeah.
We're gonna do some.
love it.
We're gonna do some lives. So everybody out there listening, November 8th, from 12 till
Whenever you feel
whenever.
like, yeah.
But we will definitely be out there. We're thinking 12 to 3. We may stay longer than that.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna have a great time, and we're really looking forward to having a lot of people there. Now, before we wrap up, I love the fact that you've built your career off of the confidence and communication and consent. What message do you want every customer to leave with?
Embrace your sexuality. It is your own. Don't let anybody ever make you feel bad for anything that you want to do that brings you joy, brings you happiness, a greater sense of self and self-fulfillment.
I love that. I love that, Lynn. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, and I so look forward to seeing y'all.
I know.
Oh,
Hey,
man, it's
we're
gonna
gonna
be
have
a
a blast.
blast.
We are going to have an amazing time, guys,
It is
especially
gonna be
with
fun.
these wonderful people that are Forbidden Fruit. You guys don't miss it. Do
Yeah.
not miss it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, Lynn, again for coming and joining us today and for everything you've done to keep Austin open-minded. We appreciate that. The confident and the oh-so positive.
That's right. And if you're anywhere near Austin, you have to visit Forbidden Fruit. It's not just an adult store. It's a welcoming community for anyone ready to explore, learn, and have fun doing it. And you never know, you might run into us at the same time.
Yes. And remember, Beyond Monogamy will be there Friday, November 8th, recording live and meeting listeners. Come say hi, grab a toy, and celebrate with us.
Yes. So be sure and check out forbiddenfruit.com. Like I said, we'll have it in our show notes for details on the event, workshops, and their incredible products. And you can head to www.beyond-monogamy.com for our latest episodes, blogs, event info, merch, you name it, it's all there. Follow our social medias as well, because we keep all of that information on our socials.
And you can catch Beyond Monogamy every Thursday at 1 and 6 p.m. Central on FullSwapRadio, and stream us anywhere you get your podcasts.
Absolutely. And like I said, for updates, behind the scenes fun, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Reddit. We have our own little Discord community. So you name it, we are there. You should be there too.
Lynn, thank you so much for being a powerful voice of pleasure, education, and inclusivity, and for being one of the best humans in the business.
Oh, I love having you around personally. So we will definitely see you on November 8th at Forbidden Fruit. We will see you guys at November 8th at Forbidden Fruit as well. So be ready to come and learn, laugh, and maybe blush a little bit.
Yeah, you're definitely going to blush a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. As always, thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.